Shalom everyone, how's it going? Long time no see. I know I've been MIA and I'm not sorry about it. There's just been so much going on during this process that I decided to stop. Not completely, I just wanted to naturally stop and reflect and just take like the past few weeks off of my studies and just clear my mind. And I'll explain what I mean in just a second. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe below. I'm back and I'm gonna be back for quite some time now. And if you aren't subscribed to my Patreon, the link is down below. You can follow me on this lovely journey to Judaism. So let's get into today's video. This entire process has been life-changing. There's no doubt about it. But there's parts of it that I've realized I'm not a big fan of. I don't like the fact that I've been on this process almost 2 years now and I'm still not Jewish. And it has nothing to do with the people exactly involved. Kinda. A lot of it isn't in my control. So I have to practice patience, but I'm like, I've been so patient and I've shown commitment. I've shown belief in Hashem, in Judaism, in the practices. I've gone to Shabbat dinners. I've done all the holidays. In my mind, I'm like, what else do people need to see? Like, I feel like I'm genuine with it. I'm just running out of time, and my patience has really caught up with me to the point that I just felt like everything was on my shoulders. I have to learn, make sure my Hebrew is good enough. I have to make sure that I'm keeping kosher. I have to make sure that I'm going to shul every week. And I'm like, I'm doing all these things, but why am I not Jewish yet? So I had to like take a break. I felt like I was about to explode. Like, how much does one person need to show? And it's also very tough when I still go to Shabbat dinners and I'm telling people I'm Jewish, I'm this, and I get laughed at. I still very much get laughed at. And right now, I back in the day, I used to just kind of brush it off and didn't really care so much. Now I see myself getting a bit more offended by that, and I'm like, I don't know how to really navigate this going forward. I could just brush it off, or I could stand up for myself and actually stand up and say something. But it's becoming increasingly difficult, knowing that in a way, like, I could see why they're laughing, but you know, I'm at Shabbat dinner and this process is not easy, and I have you as a Jewish person laughing in my face, or even a non-Jewish person laughing at my face. It's even more insulting when a Jewish person does it. But this is beyond having a thick skin. Like, this might be possibly the rest of my life. So I don't know. Like, I've just been very frustrated with dealing with that, to the point that I'm like, you know, I'm falling off. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was not keeping Shabbat, not really, but it was hard for me to keep kosher. How am I supposed to keep kosher when I can't even have like a kosher kitchen yet? And like, all these little things were just frustrating me because I'm investing all this time, investing all this money, and you know, I have so much of my heart invested in this, and I haven't gone to the mikveh yet. It's definitely, I felt lost for the past month. And even though I decided to kind of put my practices to I guess a pause, I decided to pause everything, I realized I still had Jewish guilt. It's such a weird thing to, even though technically I'm not officially Jewish, I still felt guilty trying to buy something on a Saturday, or I felt guilty trying to watch TV on Shabbat. Like, even though I know that I'm not actually breaking any type of law because I'm not officially Jewish yet, I still felt, damn, like I'm in such a weird place. So during this past month, I've noticed that I missed talking about my journey, and I missed talking to you guys. And I know a lot of people were emailing me, seeing if I was okay. I'm okay. I just needed a break, and I think that this is normal. I think this just proves to show that I'm actually fully on board with this. And even though it really is taking a long time, and I remember in some of my early videos I did mention that this process would take a long time, but I could see why people break. I could see why people just kind of give up, or even if they are already Jewish, I could see why people kind of revert back to their old lives, because it's a lot of pressure on us as a convert and as a Jewish person to hold yourself high to all these standards. And I'm always answering questions. I'm very open, as you can see, how I have been about my conversion, but there's just still a part of me that feels like I have so much weight on my shoulders sometimes. So I've learned that this process tests you all the way to the end. Like this portion right here where I'm just waiting to get an email for my final meeting, my absolute final meeting. I'm just waiting, and I could be waiting another day or two after I post this, or I could be waiting another month or 6, who knows. I just know that the waiting game has crept up on me like no other, and I didn't want to completely throw away all my hard work and all the people that have invested their time and their money in me. I just needed a break. And if you ever need a break during your conversion, it's completely normal. I know some people who their conversion took them 5 to 6 years because of this reason. A few things I did during this break was I decided to step away from just learning like laws and all the practical things, and I wanted to get a bit deeper into like Judaism and Jewish culture. So I started to read more books on Jewish wisdom, on Jewish like lifestyle. I started to dive deep into the meaning of each parsha. I started to learn things like that to kind of grasp the way of, oh, I'm not following this law. And I just know for a fact I don't want my Jewish life to be that way. I don't want to be like on edge about every little thing that I do. I want to be knowledgeable about it, and if I make a mistake, I make a mistake and I fix it from there. But I personally wanted to look at Judaism in a different light. And as I started to do that, I actually started to read Joseph Telushin's book, Jewish Wisdom, which definitely opened my eyes to many things. I started to just read books that will lift me up spiritually, because my spirit was down. I felt like maybe I'm not good enough, because I know other people who are finishing their conversions, and I'm just like, what about me? So I'm moving forward with this. I'm taking you guys with me. This was my welcome back, or will you have me back video. And I don't plan on going MIA like this again. I'm gonna try to get back into my weekly or bi-weekly videos. But I am back, and I am bringing you guys not only into the end of my conversion, but into my Jewish life. Giving up is not an option anymore. And I'm glad I didn't drag myself down that dark place where I thought was the end of this. I seriously did, y'all. I was just like laying in bed thinking like, maybe I'm not supposed to be Jewish. Maybe like this is just too hard. But I was like, you know what? I'm in competition with no one. I'm not in competition with somebody who's had a Jewish education since they were born and had a whole life of Jewishness. And I'm not in competition with another convert who has the time and IQ to study at a higher level than I am. I'm Esther, I'm me, and I'm taking it a day at a time. And I hope this motivates anyone who's studying and trying to go through this process. Like, your conversion is going to be yours. My conversion is different than anyone else's. And it's important to just stay focused, delete the noise. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise around me. And I realized that it's time to put me first. It's time to put this conversion first. And it's a priority. So if you aren't subscribed to my channel, check down below, make sure you're subscribed. And don't forget to follow me on Patreon down below. All right, we're back, y'all. We're back. Shalom.